You have to call a spade. In my mind, until some huge things really change, like the United States is like permanently the villain. The way that I just continue to be more and more repulsed with the United States of America, I feel sick.
Did you know that there is a silent genocide, colonization, and slavery presently going on in Congo right now as we speak? Mainstream media isn't talking about it because they don't care. So now it's left to us everyday people to use our voice and whatever means we have available to us to speak for and fight for our brothers and sisters in the Congo. For more information on what's going on in Congo, I already made a video on that and it's linked down below in the description. So please go watch and share that video because the world needs to know.
The way that I just continue to be more and more repulsed with the United States of America. So much of my life, I was incredibly patriotic. I was the child of a Marine. I thought America was the greatest place ever. And anyway, obviously, I've grown way past that and I've learned a lot. But the way that this country just made their vote the reason why a resolution to allow humanitarian aid to reach Palestinian people,
You know,
like why
one
that
thing
didn't go
that
through,
truly gets to me
because
about
one
palm
vote
colored
said no and
folks
that
is
vote was
that
the
they
United
don't
States.
listen.
I feel sick and horrified that this is the leadership in this country.
They don't listen to what any other group of people have to say. They only listen to their own people. And by the time they finally decide to start listening, it's either too late or too much damage have been done already. But better late than never, right? This comment is from Stella and she says, better late than never to realize that we are not the good guys. When it comes to war, we side with who benefits us, not who's right and just. And Olivia, the creator, responded to Stella saying, I feel like I knew we weren't the good guys for a while, but I didn't realize we were the actual villain until recently. Brutal awakening. What she's saying right now, black people have been saying it for years. People of color generally have been saying this for years. America is the bad guy, but when we say it, we hear these people say things like, we are jealous of America, we wish we were Americans, we wish we have what they have, hence why we are speaking ill of them because of jealousy, because we wish we were, in the greatest country in the world. And when POC Americans say it, patriotic white Americans say, well, if you hate the country so bad, why don't you just leave? You are literally in the greatest country in the world. How can you speak ill about America? They start saying things like, oh, if America is so bad, how come every other group of people want to go to America so badly? They're even willing to swim across the 7 oceans, cross borders illegally, risk their lives just so they can be in America. In the heads of patriotic Americans, people are not going to America because they are forced to now, because America has destabilized their countries. It couldn't have been because America is constantly dropping bombs on their heads. It couldn't have been because America have been literally sucking their countries dry, stealing all of their resources. No, it couldn't have been because America has destabilized the economies of their home countries. So now they have to leave for their survival. To patriotic Americans, people are flocking to America because America is great. How did America become great? They don't care. And whose back is America riding on to this perceived, in quotes, greatness of theirs? They don't care, and as a matter of fact, they don't even want to know. This is what the US of A has been doing since its inception. It has been doing this for years, doing the wrongest of things globally, whilst painting itself as the good guy. This comment says, we third world suffer at the hands of America a lot. We have lost many souls to the American army. This is the US of A. This is what they do and have been doing. They are never on the right side of history. They never have, and from the look of things, they just never might be ever on the right side of history. I mean, it doesn't look like they would ever have the plan to be on the right side of history. From the inception of this country, it has been like this. If they wanted to change, they've had hundreds of years to do that. But guess what? They didn't. And it's 2023 and they are doubling down still on their bad character, letting us know that just in case we've had hopes that at some point in time they will change, they're like, nope. The way we were yesterday, that's how we intend to be today, and that's how we intend to be tomorrow. If they are not the ones who are actively causing the problem, creating the problem, cooking up the problem, they are the ones funding to make sure that the problem continues to exist because they somehow benefit from it. So because they benefit, they don't care who is at the negative receiving end of whatever chaos that they are creating and or funding to make sure continue to exist because they benefit. They don't care about what's right. They don't care about what's just. What they care about is whatever agenda that they are on and whatever propaganda they want to spread and whatever it is that they stand to benefit from it. The rest of the world can literally go to hell.
The United States will be and always has been an oppressive state of colonial power, a beacon of colonization. And so because of that, they will always throw themselves in support behind other oppressive states of colonial power. Just look at what the United States has done within its own borders to its own communities, indigenous communities, black communities, Muslim and Muslim American communities in the wake of 9/11, Asian and Asian American communities in the wake of Pearl Harbor. So it doesn't shock me that they threw themselves in support behind Israel so fast that institutions, sports teams, celebrities, and politicians alike are willing to run through walls for the state of Israel. The same state of Israel in which its military just told the UN that they have 24 hours to evacuate 1.1 million people from the northern half of Gaza. The United States will always push itself further and further and further onto the wrong side of history.
And now that we are on this conversation, please let's not forget the UK because they are on this table as well. The horrors that all of them folks have been inflicting on the rest of the world is very painful. It's sad. Such a crazy world that they have deliberately created for their benefits. We have people here on the continent who are not even living in their own countries because of these countries. And let's not even talk about those who have moved abroad because of how unstable their homes have become. No thanks to these people. Families torn apart, loved ones unalived. Why? Because, in quotes, America's interests.
No, that's fine. Don't stop there, though. Don't stop at Palestine. Go on to Central America. Go on to parts of Africa. I want you to go deeper and see how involved the US is in the atrocities globally. And then for fun, I want you to see how the US and the UK are in this together and other European countries as well. So I'm glad that people are aware because of what's happening in Palestine, but I don't want you to stop there. I want us to, collectively, we're obviously drawing a lot of attention to what's happening in Palestine, but let's keep it going. Look at other countries on the continent of Africa, in Central America, in South America. Australia just got denied its indigenous rights. Go deeper. See how much more there is. Don't let the reality check stop here.
But all in all, I would say that the past few years has been an eye-opener for sure, especially with how we now all have social media at our fingertips. We are waking up and getting educated, and also we have the ability to wake up and educate other people. So yes, we sometimes talk about how negative the internet has been, but we can't overlook the fact that it came with so much positive as well, because some good work have been going on here. And to be honest, it's exhilarating to see that some of them folks are catching on as well and, coming to the realization of what exactly is really going on in this world. Like her, for example, and the rest of them out there who are bold enough to see the truth and call out the truth, and bold enough to see evil and call out said evil for the evil that it is. Now, Olivia's video, which we saw a snippet of it at the beginning, yes, the clip isn't done playing. I'm going to let the rest of it play at the end of this video.
So Congo is still going through colonization right now. They are still being colonized. From 1996, they've never known peace. We also do have Haiti, we have Sudan, we have Syria, we have Afghanistan, we have Palestine and others. So it is now safe to say that US, Britain, France and Israel are the avengers of colonizers. And these four colonizers have successfully used the media to manipulate us. They even have us feeling bad for their soldiers, for God's sake. For the past 30 or 40 years, they've created these movies and these TV shows to condition us to always see their soldiers as the heroes. Because in every movie, there's a soldier that is coming home with PTSD. Because he's haunted by the fact that he killed an innocent child accidentally or killed an innocent woman accidentally, and it is always one woman or one child when fighting terrorists or in the line of fire. Do you know who these terrorists are in this case? These terrorists are the locals that are fighting colonization. In reality, these soldiers are the terrorists because they are the ones that are going to countries uninvited to cause chaos, to destabilize the economy so that the colonizers can be able to successfully steal the resources.
Once again, the link to the video I made on what's happening in Congo right now is linked down below in the description. Please go watch and share that video because the world needs to know what's going on and we need to bring an end to what's going on right now in the Congo. And on that note, we've come to the end of my commentary. Now I'm just going to let the rest of Olivia's video roll. Do let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are. Thank you very much for watching, and of course, as always, I will see you guys in the next one.
The way that I just continue to be more and more repulsed with the United States of America. So much of my life I was incredibly patriotic. I was the child of a Marine. I thought America was the greatest place ever. And anyway, obviously I've grown way past that and I've learned a lot. But the way that this country just made their vote the reason why a resolution to allow humanitarian aid to reach Palestinian people, like why that didn't go through, because one vote said no and that vote was the United States. I feel sick and horrified that this is the leadership in this country. And we already knew that they were bad. Like, we already knew that they're ruthless, selfish, largely, not everyone obviously, but we already knew they were bad. But like, this is another level of bad. Imagine hearing people condemn a genocide and being like, I don't know. Imagine feeling defensive upon hearing people say like what Israel's doing, the genocide it's horrible, they're killing innocent people, and being like, well, imagine this is actually the situation. Imagine a resolution is decided upon so that aid can reach Palestinian people, and everyone's like, okay, sure. Two countries, one being Russia, says we're not going to vote, and the United States, who has veto power, says, and now a bunch of people don't get aid and a bunch of people die. And they're so used to operating in a vacuum. They're so used to operating in a space where this isn't shared on the news. And if it is, it's shared in a way that's twisted to make it sound like it was the right thing. Which I don't know how the fuck you would do that. But now I think they don't realize that we live in a world where news is shared this way. Where when I want updates, I come on here because I trust it more. Sure, the algorithm feeds us things we want to see. Sure, you can't believe everything people say. And I do try to fact check, but like, the reality is that all media is biased, and particularly media out of the United States that is owned and operated by BlackRock and Vanguard, who own all the corporations, who fund all the campaigns for all of the people that they want in power, who are going to do their bidding. Like, that is who decides what narrative to spin for the American people, for the Western world. And that is why so many people didn't know what was going on until we saw Palestinian people with our own eyeballs on this app telling us the truth. The hypocrisy that is context matters to justify the actions of Israel, but context doesn't matter to justify the actions of Hamas, even though what Hamas did, which was awful and heinous, was an attack after literally like nearly a century of brutalization and murder at the hands of Israel toward the Palestinian people. Like, Hamas says out loud whatever they say, which is horrific and should be condemned. But Israel doesn't say it out loud. They just do it, and the media doesn't cover it, and if they do, they cover it in a way that makes it sound like they're fighting back, they're defending themselves. They have one of the strongest militaries in the world. The Palestinian people don't even have like a person to sit at a table to represent them when any sort of like group of global leaders gets together to discuss things. And that is not because they don't want it, and that is not because they shouldn't have it. Imagine believing that an ethnic group's right to a land is more important than another group's right to live. And to any Christian, or specifically to any Christian who is defending Israel right now, look to the Jewish people who are denouncing Israel. Look to the Jewish people who are anti-Zionist for an example of what it looks like to care about humanity. To support Israel is to support genocide. To support genocide is to be a terrible person, period. To not care about human beings, to not care about life, to only care about life that you think is important to care about. And Jesus, your Lord and Savior, who, by the way, Muslim people believe was a prophet, because guess what? Islam is also an Abrahamic faith. Jews, Christians, and Muslims all believe in the same God, and that God is horrified. And if he's not, then like, I don't know why anyone wants to believe in him. And Jesus, certainly horrified. Jesus defended the oppressed. Jesus stood against the big guy, the bully, who is Israel, who is the Western world, the United States. We've been so conditioned into believing that the United States is the hero. In so many ways, so many times throughout history, it has shown its ass. But with this vote, in my mind, until some huge things really change, like the United States is like permanently the villain. And the fact that that's the case, like, breaks my heart. But you have to call a spade, and